Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here, and welcome to another NIKKE video. And now that I have your attention, today's topic is actually not going to be about Summer Mary, but rather about Summer Neon. So if for those of you guys that did not turn into the stream, when we did a viewer post on Summer Neon, I managed to one-tap her, yes, on the first temple. However, we didn't go max limit break, and we'll discuss her kit and my thoughts on her after the initial testing. We did some testing on stream as well, the benefits, the downside of pulling her, and where her future lies as a limited summer unit, our second limited summer unit. So let's first take a look at her skill kit. And of course, this video is sponsored by NIKKE, so thank you very much. We're very much looking forward to the summer event, and we absolutely love it. However, I will be brutally honest in this video regarding my recommendations and my thoughts on Summer Neon. So let's first take a look. Her first skill activates when using burst skills and affects herself. So the upper wave grants her parts damage. So this is level 4. So just to take a look at my Neon stats, Summer Neon stats, 48,000 attack, 32,000 power. On the manufacturer gear, so basically this is like +3, +3, +3, and +5 in terms of the equivalent of non-manufacturing gear. I didn't overload her in terms of the gear. And 444 I think is the basis of where units should be when testing. Oh my lord. And I've got her on the Bastion cube, okay? So that's where we are in terms of the power. So again, skill 1 activates when using burst skill. So this, we tested it. This, unfortunately, is her own burst skill, okay? So when she activates it, and depending on the number of times the activation, you'll get stacking parts damage. So this is level 4, all the way up to this 22 something %. And level 10, it's much higher, right? You're gonna get like, I think 45-ish? My math might be off, but you can check in the Wikipedia to see what is the stacking max damage. So this is really good for bosses, okay? This is fantastic. But like I said, the downside is it only works if she bursts, and I'll talk about why that's such a big issue later on. Skill 2 is honestly, I think, the best part about her kit. Activates when enter burst stage 3. So similarly to Summer Mary, she doesn't need to burst for this to take place. And again, stacking buff and damage is strong element, which means herself as a water type will do percentage more damage to enemies that are fire type. So you can see max level, so right now it's 12, max is 20, and max level is stacking up to 60 at 3 times the max stack, right? So 60 for 10 seconds, which is really good. This is really good if it's 60% against, for example, a boss. Her ultimate skill, her burst skill, and we'll see in the testing ground as well, the unit rate. Full Hydro Shot affects herself, changes the weapon type to rocket launcher, full water power, and then it's 8% final damage at level 4, 11% at max level 10, right? And final damage is basically after stats calculation, equipments, overload gear, sub-stat modifications, and effects such as buffs. So 11% right off the bat, and if the enemy is fire type, so for example Nihilister, another 11% on top of that, so 22% on top of everything here. Now, the problem with this is she needs to activate this for this to trigger, right? This is a 40-second cooldown. So to get the max stack for parts damage, you're looking at least if you let her burst first, 3 minutes. No, 2 minutes. Because 40 plus 40 is 1 minute 20 plus, yeah, 2 minutes. That's not great. That is not great at all. So we're thinking, you know, what if we treat her like Modernia, right? And don't let her burst to not suffer from the DPS loss. Well, then she basically only has one skill that only works if you use her against a fire type boss. So in this testing, in the unit rate testing, we get to see what happens. All right, we'll get to see what happens. So right off the bat, we start the fight, and we'll wait. Okay, we'll wait. So you can see as a machine gun, the core hit is very nice. You can see that the damage will start racking up. Okay, the core hit is very nice against enemies. So we're going into our first set of burst rotations, and you'll see the animation for the burst animation. This is the lobby screen. This does look pretty damn good. Okay, so now we have successfully entered full burst. All right, and you can see we get this is the litter. Okay, I specifically used litter boost as well, so that we get the maximum benefit from changing the weapon type, right? Because it's final damage. So we've got this 12% and we've got upper wave. So all of these are being applied. Just pay attention, water jet and upper wave are both applied. Now look at our weapon. It's this. So the AoE is not that big. It's like, I mean, it's alright, but I definitely think you suffer DPS loss. You can see that we were actually on top of Lapchon, right? We were on top of Lapchon in terms of damage output. And also my Lapchon, I resetted her, so she is 111, okay? And she didn't burst. But after the burst, Lapchon was able to catch up just because of how bad the burst is. Now, as we go into the second cycle, okay, of the burst, which will be Lapchon's turn, we can see that the Neon manages to pull ahead in front of Lapchon again. Okay, Neon manages to pull ahead. But now Lapchon will burst, and we will check the buff, and you will be able to see that, oh, it's Scarlet's buff. Oh my goodness. Okay, you'll be able to see that, if we take a look, we have water jet, so it's 2 stacks of water jet. But where is the other thing, right? Where is the upper deck? Where's this one? Upper wave. We don't have it. Which means, like we've tested on stream, the only way to trigger this stacking parts damage is for her to open and use full Hydro Shot. But this Hydro Shot is not great for her. It's not great for her at all. So now you can see that this is a problem, right? This is a problem. So, I mean, for me, personally, I'm still huffing the Pothium that once we shift towards more of a meta, right? For example, mono element meta, she will be used still. She can still be used, especially against fire types, bosses with parts damage, and you want her to burst. And potentially, if you know your burst, it can hit like all of the different parts of the bosses. I can see it do a lot more, right? You can see just naturally being a machine gun user is very, very good in terms of the damage output. It's not the worst. But as a summer limited, I don't know. What I would do to fix her is to make the skill 1, right? Is to mix the skill 1 apply just like the skill 2 does not rely on having her using her own burst. If we can get that to happen, I think that'll be insane. I think that'll actually be insane. But as you can see, damage-wise, in comparison to Lapchon, is not bad at all. But again, this is purely due to having a Bastion level 7, plus all of these core hits, the refund on the magazine, and also the water jet, right? The water jet, I'm not sure if this is against fire, but if it's not, then the damage is going to be even higher. So it's not the worst character. Again, this is Bond 1 without any max limit broken stats, right? So not the worst, especially if you literally buff the attack. But I think personally, if you are still undecided, wait for the Union Raid, because as you know, our Union Raid was #1 last season in Union Raid for NA. So if you want to wait for the Union Raid, we'll definitely bring her to level 10 for the final testing, and then we can determine, all right, if she's gonna be meta or not. I know I've spoken a lot about the poll choices, but you know, all of you guys probably polled already. It was the same as Summer Mary. I was like, guys, wait for testing. Her heal is actually great. She doesn't even need to burst to heal, but you guys are like, I already polled. I got her in 10. I got her in 20. So if I tell you guys to wait, would you even wait? Probably not. You probably polled just so that you can see this. My goodness. But anyhow, we will definitely be testing her to see if she is going to be meta. And I hope to see you guys on the stream or in the video when we test her. And thank you, NIKKE, for sponsoring this video. I am loving the event a lot, and I hope to see more. Anyhow, it's TimaeuSS here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye now.